My ripcord ripped. Whoa. Big, beefy components, whatever they do. Not ideal.
Good morning, guys. So today we're leaving Bryce Canyon National Park, which is sad because it's the last of the Mighty Five that we visited, so no more Utah National Parks, and we're heading north today, which it's like already coming closer to the end of our US trip here. We're heading 4 hours, like four and a half hours north, up close to Salt Lake City, which is crazy. But we're all packed up and ready to go here. We're driving out through the Dixie National Forest, which, side note, is beautiful. If you're ever coming to Bryce Canyon or anywhere around here, the Dixie National Forest is huge and the red rocks are seriously amazing here. Like, I've never heard of it before, but definitely something that's on my bucket list to come back and see more in the future. Yesterday, in preparation for our big travel day, Luke also inflated our trailer tires.
I have a bunch of things planned for tomorrow I want to kind of catch up on and touch up, but I also bought this guy here. Apparently it's an Auto Joe tire inflator. I got it in a Walmart a little while back, and our tire pressure monitor system says we've been pretty good, but one of them was getting down to like the mid to low 70s, and we want to keep them around 80 psi. So I'm going to run the generator here. We're at generator hour right now at Bryce Canyon National Park. Fire that bad boy up, and then I can plug this into the 120. I should be able to set this up to 80 psi, and it should fill and then stop by itself. Supposedly it says it goes up to 125, but I'd be curious if this little fella can go that far, because pretty cheap little model, and if nothing else I can test it out right now and make sure if we ever need it in a bind, we'll have something that actually works. Dang. Okay, good news. I got the generator running. It was being a little picky. Took like 3 or 4 tries. So now I'm gonna get that pressure going. But bad news, another task for tomorrow, Sandy Day. My ripcord ripped. I barely even used this thing. I didn't crank on it that hard and it completely blew there. Man, I'm gonna have to get creative apparently. That really sucks. So I think it says I'm sitting at 77.5 after that air loss there. Let's go tire. Okay, so that Auto Joe actually worked great. Again, for being like $40 or $45 at Walmart, plug it in, ran nice and easy. I think it took about 15-20 seconds to go up 1 psi on our tire. In the end, each tire was sitting around 77 to 78 psi, except for the one on the driver's side front that I was kind of wondering. Our system had been saying it was a bit lower, was sitting at 75, so I filled them all up to just a little above 80. We'll see when we drive tomorrow now, and we'll see what it updates to, and they should all be sitting nice and pretty at 80. And then I just gotta fix that generator now, so fingers crossed that goes smooth.
So with that all done, we're ready to head north, and we're heading to Jordanelle State Park, which is really close to Park City and Salt Lake City. A couple minutes down the road and our tire monitoring system is reading the driver's side so far. Passenger side hasn't quite kicked in, but 80 and 82 psi, so pretty perfect, Luke.
Yeah, it worked well. Again, I set it to around 81, so plus or minus taking it off there. We're cruising safely. All right, been a good day cruising the highway here, zooming up I-15. Kind of sad it takes me back to heading south, but now we're going north. But we're at a truck stop here, backed in. We're gonna grab some lunch up here, but also we're hoping to see a camel. We actually stopped here on the way down, and the camel was back and the place was closed, but it looks like today we can go in. So Chloe's gonna get a petting zoo experience while we get gas and food. Pretty good stop. Another bonus to truck stops is you can get everything you need. Get our every gas station I guess has windshield washer fluid, but we're taking care of everything here at this one. Camels and horses and bunnies, oh my.
She was already pointing and saying horse, so pretty sure she's pretty excited. When do you ever see baby ostriches and baby emus? Like,
is that legal, and how do I get started in this endeavor?
Like, this is America.
Oh man. Oh, there's the camel, but he's so far away. So close yet so far and out of reach.
Say hi, bunny. Oh, be careful. You gonna pet? Be very gentle. Oh, he's gonna get you. Oh, gentle. Hey, gentle. Good job. Good job.
Whoa.
Oh, is that his lunch? I think he just took his lunch from him. Feed him. No, not you.
It's putting it in the bunny's food.
She's like, I love salad. Okay, Chloe, time to get back on the road, okay?
Yeah, how was that for a rest break? That's something you don't do every day. Oops.
Say bye, goats. Bye, sheep.
Bye-bye.
Say bye, bunnies.
Bye.
Alright, so we're about an hour away from our campsite here still, but we're just looking at the horizon now, and like we're getting close to like Provo, Utah, which is right before Salt Lake City, and it looks like rain ahead of us.
Oh, we're getting speckles on the window.
Are we really? Oh, this is the first rain we've had on this trip yet. Like, it feels so weird to be in such like a rainy kind of looking area because we haven't seen this in forever.
And here we are, checked into Jordanelle State Park. I believe this is the Hailstone campground we're in. We're here for a couple nights. Electric hookups, has a water tap here. No sandy dump, but at least we don't have to fill up our water when we check in. And we got a view of the lake right behind us here. Pretty nice. It's gonna be an RV maintenance kind of day. We've got a few RV repairs that have come up on our brand new travel trailer already, so we're gonna be jumping into that. But first things first, I want to get this generator started. We want to get this running because we're heading to Grand Tetons National Park next year coming up. So we're going to have no hookups in the campground we're staying at, and the generator is going to be vital. So our generator is the champion here. We got the dual fuel one, so luckily we've been using propane. No gasoline in it to worry about pouring out or stinking, but the ripcord pulled out of this little spot here. I've seen some big generators where you can take this side mount right off and it's nice and easy to fix the pulley. But in this one, I think I'm gonna have to take off this whole outer covering to get into it and jump in from there, so it might be a bigger project.
While Luke's getting the casing off of the generator, I'm gonna be working on the next thing here, which is lubricating our window seals. So what this will do is, well, I'm just gonna spray it in the window tracks and it'll reduce the friction from the glass on the track, and it'll be a lot easier to open and close our windows. And since it's a dry lubricant, it'll also help repel any dirt and dust from getting stuck in the tracks and also make it a lot smoother for the windows to open and close. This is our worst window in the RV. It's really hard to open. And as you can hear, it like has a lot of friction going on. So I've already gone in here with a duster and cleaned the track out, and now I'm just gonna spray some of the lubricant in here and see how much of a difference it makes. I could probably take the screen off and get that side too, but I'm just gonna run outside and spray that track there. Okay, we're all lubed up. Moment of truth. Ooh. Feels pretty good.
Okay, so situation at hand right now for the generator. I've taken all of the bolts and screws out holding it together. One side came off really easy, but unfortunately our model of generator, the side that the ripcord is on, also is where the propane intake hose goes and where the choke on-off switch is. So the ones I've seen online and on YouTube so far, you just take it off and then the pull cord spot would pull off no problem, just the rope goes through there, but they didn't have the propane tube and the on-off switch here. So having these still attached, I'm trying to pull this panel off, but this goes right into all the electrical stuff for the choke, and this has a very tightly fit propane hose in there that doesn't want to pull off. I mean, if this was an easy to work on unit, I'd be able to just pull this off right now and I can see the assembly I want to get to, but trying to pull this off, I'm worried I'm gonna like unplug a wire, make a propane leak or some other kind of nightmare. So we're still looking online and we're gonna try and deduce how exactly to get this off without damaging all these other vital components to the unit as well. So I thought to myself, if all the videos are saying that way, but what if I go in the bottom of the unit and get to the thing I want, because I could see it. It's all on this complicated side. Of course the other side is literally just an oil change tube, nothing. And all the components are on this side. But I think we're making headway here. If this one comes off, I believe I'll have it.
You got it out?
Oh! I think I've, okay, not actually fully disassembled this thing to the best of my abilities. I mean, there's all these other big, beefy components, whatever they do. But I got the part we're trying to get. So the rope, I don't even know if it ripped because I don't see any other rope in here. It might have just been the very end of the rope and straight up unclipped and pulled out. So now we're gonna learn how to use this clip component right, get the rope put back in here, and then woo, woo, woo. Maybe we'll be back in business.
Can you believe that the rope is only held in by like a double knot that goes through a little slot to like hold it in there, and then you're like ripping on the cord? Like, this must happen all the time. So
this has been a bit of a doozy, but we got it out. We had to feed the rope through a small hole that went through an even smaller hole onto the spring spool. And then with Alysha's help, we got it all tied up in there. And then you feed the rope around the assembly. We did 4 rotations building tension, and voila, it pulls itself in again. We're maybe starting to get somewhere, but this has been like an hour and a half or more, and it's getting close to dinner time, or it is dinner time, so the hard workers are hungry. Alright, nearly 2 hours later, this bad boy completely disassembled, and hear that? It goes. Now I have to reassemble the bottom and make this look like a normal generator again, then we're going to test it after dinner because whoosh, Chloe's hungry and I'm hungry.
So hungry.
Yeah, this has been a day. Okay, intermission time here. Alysha's got some meal whipped up for us. We're doing breakfast for dinner because she said it was the quickest, easiest thing you could pull off here. Chloe's got
meatballs on the side.
Yeah, Chloe loves meatballs, so I guess why not make some for us too? I think that was smart, yeah? And then I left the generator almost assembled here while she was cooking. So we're gonna eat dinner. It might be Chloe's bedtime soon. And then we've got more RV maintenance to do outside. I got 2 or 3 more outside tasks we're gonna do. And then we're also gonna try and fire this girl up here.
If it doesn't work, like,
yeah,
that's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be heartbreaking. I mean, you see, this thing was completely disassembled. There was just all the loose parts wobbling around. We put 2.5 hours at least of labor into her figuring it out. And I mean, again, this wasn't a cheap generator either, really, so if it doesn't start from this, we're doomed.
Well, as if meatballs with your breakfast wasn't weird enough, Luke's brought out the sauerkraut.
Uh-oh.
For some reason, she loves sauerkraut. Like, she doesn't even make a face when she eats it. She chooses to eat it first.
Neither of us even really eat sauerkraut. I thought I would just be adventurous and try it out and be like, maybe I want to get into fermented foods again. But I wasn't like a huge fan. I put it on my burger sometimes. But Chloe eats it. Okay, next up on our to-do list is to put on our slide lubricant. This will just like leave a protective waterproof film on the slide out, like rubber seal, and it'll help it go in and out, I guess, and just good protection. I think all I gotta do is just like spray like wild all up and down the seams, and I don't know how exactly we're gonna do the like top slide seam thing because we have a slide topper and I can't access it very easy, but being that it's covered by the slide topper, I'm gonna assume that it's pretty protected under there anyways. Another thing we've been battling out here with the RV is these fender flares. These top screws go into a nice part of the frame or some form of wood or something. But these bottom ones right here, this just goes into this thin piece of little like sheet metal type thing on the outside. So the screw's not actually grabbing on anything. It's just holding in the metal. And all of the sides have done it. I lost one of the screws. I pulled some of the other ones out because I didn't want to lose them down the highway or anything, of course, and thought I'd be preemptive on it. But I've already done a few of them with zap straps, but I never actually got around to this one. So I've been taking some of these black zap straps, merging 2 of them together, and then that will help hold that in. And then it just stops it from getting the wind. It's not slapping on there, and it's not going to be putting extra stress on the rest of the screws there. So when in doubt, zap straps are pretty handy. There, and so we have black screw here. And it comes down to this one. I just have this little zap strap bent around there. I could alternatively put a screw through there and then like have a little piece of plywood as backing back here, but for on the road, that works for now. And once you get back here, you never even notice, so that should work pretty well going forward. All right, and now for the moment of truth though, the moment you've all been waiting for, myself included. It's almost the end of generator hour. I'm not sure if we're technically allowed to run a generator because we're in the electric loop anyway, so you shouldn't need to. So usually they say don't just for noise, but we're just gonna fire it up, turn it off if it works, but hopefully it does start up and we're not out like, I forget what this thing was. It's like a $1,000 generator, so that would be a super expensive thing to miss out on otherwise, so I hope it works. Okay, that was a lot of attempts. Still not going yet, kind of a bummer. I guess I'm just gonna keep trying a bit more though and see what happens, but not ideal. Woo! How about that? It fired up. It ran a little rough. I did have it on its side and kind of laying around at times though when we were working on it, so I'm wondering if maybe just the oil had to kind of work back through the system a little more. It might need to settle to the bottom, so I'm gonna let it sit in the truck, call that an evening. Another problem for another day. At least it did start. Maybe I'll try plugging in an extension cord sometime and see how much power we're getting to the RV. Make sure we're getting juice, but we're good. Because again, after today, we're gonna be heading off to Grand Tetons National Park up in Wyoming. So more heading north before we get to Canada. We still have like quite a few weeks left in the USA, but it's just like slowly working our way back through the northern states now, which will be nice. It's different. We have all the beautiful greenery again. We actually got rained on a little bit today, so we haven't seen rain literally this whole trip. So a bit of rain was different to see than no rain at all. And yeah, I am just really grateful that generator started. Hopefully it actually keeps working. Hopefully the cord doesn't break. Hopefully our knots hold, because it turns out we have like the hardest generator. Normally you should just pop off a side panel and the spot you need is right there, not both side panels, the bottom, and then reaching through all of the wires. I'm glad I didn't like bump any wires loose, and yeah, that would be an expensive generator to replace. And again, this is just part of RVing. Some of them little maintenance stuff you gotta do. Gotta keep your generator running, because for coming up in advance, we won't have many hookups now. Of course, now that we're getting done with electric sites, it's gonna break, but without having electric, we're not gonna be able to run the furnace, we're not gonna be able to do any of the YouTube editing, so we really need our power, and I am just so grateful it's working. But thank you guys for tuning in and working through our little maintenance and generator troubleshooting day with us here. I was gonna put some spray foam on the bottom as well and make sure all the spots are sealed for mice, but I couldn't find where I wanted to fill, so maybe another day. But check your bottoms as well and make sure all your underbelly is completely sealed, nothing's cracked so no mice get in. Save yourself that headache down the road. And otherwise, we'll catch you in the next video when we're off to Grand Tetons then, friends. Our 9th national park coming up. Take care, everyone.